And today I have a very special friend of mine. We've known each other for years, and I can't pinpoint, but I know it's more than 10 years. His name is Elliot Kay, and Elliot Kay helps people communicate better. Now, communicate better in terms of leveraging their time, leveraging their resources. If you can't communicate, you'll struggle in business. And we know if you can communicate, you can sell. If you can communicate, you can attract. If you can communicate, you can make an impact. He does all of that for his clients. Give you an idea that some of these clients have approached him so they can make a bigger impact on. Have you heard of the program called Dragon's Den? How do you pitch yourself, right? Have you heard of the program called MasterChef, where you don't want to go on these programs and start losing what you're trying to say and losing your train of thoughts. So, and above that, also other people in the industry, he's helped managing directors, entrepreneurs, and many, many more. Elliot, welcome to the Business and Wealth Show.
Thanks for having me, Mac. Yeah, God, over a decade we've known each other, but you keep looking younger and younger, and I keep growing and looking older and older. How does that happen? How's that happen?
I have no idea about that one, but welcome anyway. Elliot, you know the reason why, there's a couple of reasons why I wanted to get you on the podcast here. You're working with people and helping them to communicate better. And one of the key things is, and I say to a lot of our business owners, learn to communicate. Right. And especially not only one-on-one, but one-to-many. Now, I know you've helped people to do that in both arenas. Why is, so that's one of the reasons we're going to talk about that. And the other reason is you recently, again, I think it's the second year, launched your speaker awards. And the speaker awards for people who are already in the speaking industry or trainers who really can use that as positioning. So I want to talk about that later on. But for now, let's talk about your background. How did you get involved in the speaking industry and then end up helping people to be able to speak and leverage their time through speaking?
Great question. How did I end up here? Gosh.
Yeah.
Where do we dial back to? So kind of very quick background. Many moons ago, I started very late as a professional dancer. So 21, I decided I wanted to be a dancer against all odds. I applied for a dance school in Leeds. And it was, to begin with, I worked every night and every weekend to fund myself. I didn't have the money. My parents didn't have the money. It's one of those stories. And then after one term, I got a scholarship. And that's what freed me up, or freed my evenings up at least. So I did that for a while, and then toured, did all this stuff, came back to the UK, and I actually got injured, like many dancers, lower back injury, then ended up in the corporate world, started various things. And again, even then, there were signs of a serial entrepreneur. I tried to launch a fashion brand. I tried to write a TV show, all these kind of bits and bobs. I think you can relate to that. And just all these exploits. Ended up at a call center. From there, ended up in training. From training, found my training career, ended up with Sky, with TalkTalk, KFC, Pizza Hut, Warstones, all of these kind of big brands, writing their training, their customer service journey, all that kind of stuff. And then one day in my apartment in Acton, in West London, I sat there and I was like, I want more, something more. There's something bigger for me out there. I want to be a better trainer. I want to be something beyond this. And I found coaching. So I started to study coaching. And then as part of this coaching, I did the old school thing where you had to work with people to get qualified as a coach, not just attend a weekend and get a certificate. So I was working with 15 people. And this one person said something that changed it all. She said, working with you, I learned to be happy to lose weight and not lose weight to be happy. Blew me away. I had an epiphany, shivers down my spine. I'll never forget that day in my little attic room in West London doing a coaching session over the phone. Remember those, Macs?
Yeah.
Over the phone, like, Mac, when we used to kind of like dial and go, hello.
Before Skype, before Zoom, you picked up the phone to do
over
coaching.
the phone, right.
Yeah.
And so that changed my path. There is a relevancy to this. And then I started to take coaching seriously, launched a coaching career. So I used to be known as the coach with a hat, which is, I believe, when we met. And then it kind of scaled from there. Throughout that time, once I launched the coach with a hat and did all that, I was pulled in by my business partner back then, who launched what was known at the time Pony Express Speakers Club. She's like, I've seen you on stage, you're very charismatic, because I use speaking to help promote my coaching, to help get my message out there at the time. And from that, we built the business. We built the speaking business. And I kept getting pulled into all these assessor positions, to speaker trainer positions. So I trained with this company, and I used to attend their training, and they pulled me in to become their international trainer. So I did that for 5 years. So that's how I ended up doing what I'm doing. How I ended up working with trainers, and then with speakers, sorry. And then in 2018, I made the decision to shut down my other business, which was a strategy business, to move full time into Speaker Express, which is what it is now, and really grow it and build it. I'd raise investment. I was going to launch abroad, and then the pandemic happened, and la. We know that story. But that's how I ended up doing what I'm doing in a nutshell. I've written now 6 books, 3 of them about speaking. I'm writing my 7th one about executive presence. And 2 of them are bestsellers. One of them was shortlisted for the Business Book Awards last year. And so that's a little bit about me in a nutshell. There you go. You know me, inside out, Mac. Inside out.
There you go. There's Elliot Kay. So tell us, Elliot, thanks for the background. Why is speaking so important for those people listening in, small business owners, entrepreneurs? Why is being able to articulate yourself in front of many people, or even one-on-one, so important?
It's for the simple reason that you've got to stand out, right? You've got to be relatable. You've got to be connected. People got to feel you, hear you, and get a real sense for what you are and who you are. Especially in this modern day, people want authenticity. They want you to be real. People are fed up, right? I think you'll know this from your own work. That just people are just fed up with falseness, and they're fed up with being lied to and have the wool pulled over their eyes. So speaking is one of the best ways for you to create instant connection, instant impact, for you to get into the hearts and minds alike of your potential buyer, of your potential customer, of your market. It's a great way to extend the brand. People can feel and touch the brand versus being this elusive thing that's on the internet or on TV. They get a real sense for you. And that's the power of speaking, and that's the power of communication. Whether you're, and again, it depends on the brand you are, right? You and I know there's some speakers out there that East London through and through, and that's who they are in the brand, and they're rough and they're ready, but that's who they are, right? And that's it. There's no right.
What's an international version of East London through and through, rough and ready? What would be the American version of that, or an Australian version of that?
I guess I don't want to get caught out or be pulled out for lack of,
a Jersey boy, maybe.
Yeah, Bronx kind of
Bronx, rough and ready.
Rough in a good way, please. Anyone listening to this, I mean this in a positive way, right? And I think that who you are as a brand will always come forwards when you speak. And I think that's something that the written word, your content, your videos won't quite capture. And I'll give you a very quick example. Last week I did a LinkedIn audio live, right? Because I used to be on Clubhouse a lot, and I came off Clubhouse because it was draining and it was exhausting. And so I just did my first audio on LinkedIn. And that one audio LinkedIn I did woke up conversations with customers that I've had but haven't had for a while, because they haven't had that interaction with me. And as a result of that, I've had 5 calls this week with people in America like, yes, now I remember why I wanted to work with you. Now I know why I wanted to talk to you, etc., etc. And that's something that speaking gives that other forms of marketing doesn't, period. And that's why it's important. Now, using the right language is important. And I mean the language that your audience relates to, not I think a lot of the problem is a lot of speakers get on stage and they talk from their model of the world, right? They talk from their understanding.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you're building that bridge, right? You're a very experienced speaker yourself, Mark. You speak internationally. And if you can't land in their world, you're on your own. It's a very lonely place. And it comes from the language and the emotion behind it. And that, again, speaking does that very quickly versus if you did LinkedIn ads or Facebook ads with a video, it doesn't have that same immediacy. And that's where speaking is so important.
And I love what you said there. And for me, one of the biggest things which I try and convey to a lot of our clients is that essence of leveraging your time when you speak one to many. Because you could say the same thing to one person, but what if you could do that to 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, whether it's on stage, whether it's on a live, whether it's on a webinar, you know, you're conveying that message, and it's attraction. I call it attraction-based marketing. They attract to you because of what you said, Elliot, about, you know, they can resonate with you. They feel your heart. They see where you're coming from, which is fantastic. Now, for those people listening in thinking, oh, but Elliot, yeah, it's okay you saying that, and it's okay for speakers. That's what they do. But I'm an accountant. I'm an architect. I'm a car garage. I'm a car mechanic. Why would I do? I'm a consultant. I'm a financial advisor. This doesn't apply to me. What do you say about that?
I say, you're wrong. That's what I'll say. I say, here's the thing, right? Number one, it's that whole cliche. The moment you stand on stage, there's an aura of authority. So whether you're a mechanic, a plumber, an electrician, when you go to trade shows or when you go to your kind of annual conference for electricians and you're the person standing on stage, of course you need to add value and you need to say something of substance, but you're immediately got that center point of attraction. You become that key person of influence, right?
Yeah.
When you're seen on stage, period. You still have to do a good job, and that's why, you know, you want training and you invest in it, but that's why it's important. The other thing is what you can do in an hour when you're speaking in terms of marketing will cost you a lot more if you're paying for that or you're writing about it. And you're depending on other people, right? You're depending on platforms to show your content. You're depending on them to make sure you show up on feeds and things like that. You're depending on people finding your blog versus people are showing up to see you speak in that moment, in that hour, you can have far more impact. So whether you're a tradesman, whether you're a serviceman, whether you're selling drills, it doesn't matter. If you're on stage, and I'll never forget this, I used to have a client and he used to fix meat machines, right?
All right.
And one time he came to one of my trainings and he talked so passionately about this thing he'd created to fix the machine. I didn't understand what he was saying, but I wanted to buy it because he was just full of passion. And he talked about how he'd solved this problem. I was like, oh my God, I want it. His name was Paul. I'll never forget him, right? And that's the thing, when you're on stage and you're talking from a place of expertise, of passion, of knowledge, every industry needs that. Every industry has a speaker. And the other thing I will say to that, Mac, the other caveat is, if you're not standing on stage sharing your expertise and knowledge, someone else is. And I bet they don't care as much as you.
There you go. There you go. You said it there. And so, Elliot, now I'll get it. Now, tell me something. Can anyone learn to be a good speaker, orator? Is it a born skill or is it something that can be learned?
Absolutely. I believe, and I haven't seen anybody, I've never looked at anyone and go, oh my God, just, no, please just stay behind your desk. I believe everybody can be a speaker. It's a skill that everybody can learn. Now, again, I think it's important to distinguish speaking to promote, speaking to market, speaking to sell is different from becoming a paid speaker. And I think that's important for the listeners.
Yeah.
For the, you know, the people who are listening to this, when you talk about leverage, when you talk about small business owners and things like that, it's approaching speaking to market, to influence, to sell, right? Anybody can do that, period. You've worked with thousands of people across the world and you've seen it. I've seen it. Anybody can do it. It's a skill. You have to have the time, the money, the energy to invest in it. You have to have a desire to do it, but anybody can do it. And all you have to do is look at some of the incredible TED Talks, TEDx's, which people that have, you know, problems with speaking and they're doing a TEDx. All you have to do is look at Hawkins to see that you don't actually need to speak, right? Obviously he did because he was a genius and he pioneered a way of doing that. But anybody can do it as long as you want to do it, have the skill to do it, the desire to do it, and the willingness. I believe anybody can become a speaker.
Fantastic. On that note, Elliot, I want to take it down the Speaker Awards because from the bottom of your heart, you have helped so many people. And at the same time, you believe that more people or good speakers should be recognized for their great work. Tell us a little bit about the Speaker Awards. Why was it created? And any speakers listening in, why they should really pay attention.
Yeah, I created it because, like many things, I'm slightly frustrated with the industry. And a lot of, by the way, a lot of speakers that enter are entrepreneurs who speak, they're experts that speak. So yes, we do attract the professional speakers, but we actually attract far more of the key person of influence and people like that, people in sort of your arena as well who
Right.
speak, who understand the importance of recognition. The reason I set it up is because I felt throughout the pandemic and afterwards that a lot of people who are experts that speak were at the forefront of it. They were sharing expertise, they were supporting communities, they were giving away their knowledge to help people, to help upskill their communities, their industries. Like me, I mean, I stopped, you know, I gave access to all my staff, and I just felt there was no public body that recognized people for their work. Plus, I guess inadvertently, I'm trying to give a standard to the industry as well, but that's a different, and I'm not kind of focused on that. So it's like, do you know what? Why don't we create a public platform that is completely neutral, right? Because again, I know that a lot of like the professional speaker association have their awards, and you know other training companies have their awards for their clients.
Right.
But what I wanted is something completely open that people enter, and there's peers and there's professionals that watch their stuff, and they're given an award for what they've done. It's completely neutral because it's not like, oh, they paid me more money, or you know, there's no politics in that respect. And that's why I set up the speaker awards. And again, it started with a little with my business partner, you know, Simone. I was like, hey, we should do the speaker awards. And he's like, no, Elliot, no. I'm like, well, I'm doing it. Are you in? He went, okay. And then we turned to, you know, Lucy from Rethink Press. And I was like, look, we really need a partner on board. Are you in? And she went, yeah, I'm in. But I don't believe you can do it. Again, so that's already two people. Because I gave a very short space of time.
Right.
I think I thought about it in June, discussed it in July, and it was in November, right?
Correct.
So, and considering August and July were in the way, she said on stage, unfortunately, you're away. Yeah. I didn't believe Elliot will pull it off. I just thought he was crazy. I was like, watch me, one of those. So we just launched it. I think I expected 40 in the room at the time. And you were one of our original judges, right? I approached you and said, hey, Mac, would you be one of us? And you were like, yeah, cool. How can I serve? And thank you.
How can I support you? Anything you're doing, I think I believe in it. So, of course, definitely.
Thank you. And you're back again this year.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so it really took off last year. And we had a fantastic evening. We had various people win awards who's now speaking, and businesses have transformed. Obviously, they're charging and getting more money as a result. That is not the driver, by the way. People getting more money is not what's behind this. What behind this is, for me, is truly recognizing people for the hard work they've put in. That's what's putting behind me. And I do this because I deserve people deserve the limelight, even though they might be in the limelight because they speak. But I believe someone's always asked me, what's the definition of success? And I say it's respect from peers, right? When your peers massively respect you, that's success, right? And that's what I wanted to create for the Speaker Awards.
Awesome. You know, you touched it on it just now about what does it give you ultimately. So if you're recognized by your peers and you have received this award, apart from recognition, what are some of the stories people have shared with you? Hey, Elliot, you know, thanks for, you know, doing these Speaker Awards. Just a month after I got this, or I received this, or this has happened, or what are some of the stories that people, or some of the things they've got outside of that? I know some of it's going to be involved money or business.
Yeah.
Go ahead, give us some ideas.
So if I go, let's go with the Speaker of the Year, Jazz.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Incredible. Love Jazz, just who she is. So she, for example, besides fees going up, she talked to us recently. She said, well, typically she would do 2 or 3 corporate gigs a year. Since winning the award, she's already done 8 this year. So in terms of exposure, and she said one person booked her, literally went, you were Speaker of the Year. How much are you? I want to book you. So, and I mean, she exploded. She exploded so much that LinkedIn banned her because they thought she was like,
that's right.
Because so many people are adding her and so many emails are going out. So for Jazz, that was, and again, when you hear her speak about the award, she talks about her imposter syndrome kicking in when she won it. And then she went through this whole thing. She talks very openly that, she only won it because I'm brown. So she talks also about her racial insecurity coming in and how she overcame that. So it's a very interesting story. There's a video of it when she talks about it quite openly. So for her, it's transformed her speaking career, her positioning. Another one, Magdalene, who won TEDx category, she's in front of she runs a charity. So for her, it's given the credibility to the charity because the CEO is an award-winning CEO, right? And because it was the TEDx category, it gave kudos to her concept and her idea.
Right.
And another guy who won, who was the Newcomer of the Year award, yeah, Tom, he said that he was able to negotiate and ask for money a lot easier post it, again, because he was an award winner. So I know it's all come back to money, and we haven't caught up with the others, but I know that it's raised their profile, it's raised their kudos. I know it's opened doors for them. Other people now have gone on to write books as a result of it, because now they feel like they've got the credibility to write the book. It's definitely magnified their business. It's elevated their businesses. It's elevated them as people. And I think even if people don't win, and I think this is important to mention, Mac, going through the process itself is a great experience. And again, they all talk about that. Most of them didn't expect to win, but going through the process of cleaning up, knowing who you are as a speaker, going, I'm that kind of speaker, choosing the right footage that you know is going to is going to show you in the right way. The process itself is a great cleansing, refining, clarity process. So most people go, no, I didn't win, but you know what? Where I've landed as a result of that, I know who I am, what I am. I know what I stand for. I know where I want to go, right? And that's worth it in itself.
You know, in that moment, as you're describing there, what came to my mind was clearly then it inadvertently helps you reach one of the goals you had, which you said at the beginning of the show, which was raise the standards of speaking. Right. So if someone has to now assess themselves, put their best foot forward, their best footage, really look at what they stand for. Now, the standard of speaking now raises like that, which is what you wanted to do in the first place. Fantastic.
Yeah. And also being accountable as a speaker, because as you know, some speakers can be prima donnas, but you know, that's another conversation.
Yes, we know about that. We know about that. But you know, the one thing I love about what you're doing is it's the wanting to stick to the authenticity, people being themselves rather than being, if I can use the word, fake or being something else. Now, Elliot, for those who are speakers already, who are now thinking, oh, actually, I think I'm a candidate for this. What do they need to do? How do they get involved in this? Because I know the doors are closing very soon.
Yeah, so the doors close on the 1st of May, midnight, UK midnight, right?
UK midnight.
I have to be clear on that because we do have international applications.
Yes.
So it'll close midnight UK. What they need to do is go to thespeakerawards.com. So thespeakerawards.com. There's 9 different categories they can enter, right? So I'm sure within that there's something they can. And if they're just starting out, there's the newcomer category. So you can enter that as well. And they just need to have footage, 3 to 5 minutes, unless they enter the TEDx, which is more 8 to 10 minutes. And they need to have a bio, and they need to tell us why they think they should win. That's it. That's literally it. They can upload it directly, or they can send us a Vimeo or YouTube link, right? If they don't have the original source.
Yeah, I hear you. No, I get it.
Source or source. Anyway, so if they don't have the original,
yeah,
there we go. And that's what all they need to do, and just be willing to go through the process and read the Q&As, because we clarify a lot of things there. But speakerawards.com, put your footage on there, tell us why you should win, have a bio, submit. There is a £30 admin fee, because we don't want this to be a popularity contest, and we want this to be a genuine contest. And there is a lot of admin work that goes on in the background. I think, you know, you've seen a lot of what we have to do. I was
surprised. You know, I've won a lot of awards. You know, I've won so many. Trainer of the Year, Coach of the Year, Global Man of the Year. I've won so many. Now, one of the things that some people think is that, oh, is this just a popularity contest? You know, Elliot's going to choose a person he likes.
Nope.
I've seen the back engine. I've been involved in actually market this way, and it's very objective, and whatever comes out, and you can't run away from it. And so I love that scrutiny of assessment, and then getting the best candidate, because it's very objective, and you have not just one judge. You have a number of judges. How many judges? About 12?
This year, 19. We've gone from
19.
6 when you joined to 19. There were going to be 21, 2 dropped off. But yeah, it's 19 judges. And this year, the judges can't see each other's scores.
Right. There you go. So it makes it even. So if you win this, get involved. Speaker Award, thespeakerawards.com. Get involved. Yep. Any questions, just reach out to the speak. There's contact details on that website as well. I believe. Is that right? And just
Mike, as in microphone, MIC at thespeakerawards.com. Send us if you've got a question, send us an email. The whole team is screening it. I am, Weng, everyone's keeping an eye on it. Any questions you have, it closes midnight. No more play after the 1st of May. UK, it all rhymes for some reason. So yeah, get involved. And as I say, even the process itself is worthwhile. And then the kind of the big reveal day, the 7th, we have a conference during the day, 7th of July, and then the meal is the 7th in the evening. Location to be confirmed. But we'll keep you posted about that. Yeah.
Awesome. I want to say thank you. Elliot, thank you for jumping onto this show. We're going to get this out, so more people need to see this. And if you are a speaker already, get involved at thespeakerawards.com. If you're not a speaker and you want to get involved and you want to use speaking as a way of leverage to attract more clients, then do get on that bandwagon as well. Reach out to Elliot, see how we can help you. So on that note, I want to say, Elliot, thank you for jumping onto the show.
Thank you, Mike.
Everyone else, thank you. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, make sure you subscribe or follow or make some comments as well and let us know what you thought. All right. Until we speak again, take care. Much love. Bye for now.